Hello, everybody. I'm Krasia Tasio, and this is my analysis of the month August. I will talk about every day of the month so that you can plan your daily activities with the help of my prognosis. Before that, I will make an overview of the month because there will be many interesting celestial events. However, this of course is general because everyone's chart is unique. So we have many very interesting celestial events, and especially interesting will be Jupiter, who will be stationary until 8th of August and then turn direct finally. In sidereal Scorpio, Jupiter will turn direct. Now, Jupiter is never malefic, bad, even if retrograde, but when he will become direct, it will influence us in a faster and maybe more visible way, because Jupiter in Scorpio, of course, is very deep, very esoteric, philosophical. He does not denote the usual joy and happiness and easygoing style that Jupiter would give, just this bright, joyful happiness, because he has different nature and depth while in Scorpio. Now this will be a bit become a bit easier, and when he will become direct on 8th, 9th of August. So again, he keeps maintaining his philosophical, psychological, deep, knowledgeable nature while in Scorpio, but the things will start going a bit faster while he will be direct, especially people who have Scorpio ascendant, Scorpio midheaven, Taurus ascendant, Taurus midheaven, also moon there, will immediately experience this and will really benefit from this. Maybe they will feel a bit more joyful, a bit happier. This is the influence of Jupiter, who is wonderful. Also on the same day, on the 1st of August, we have Mercury, who is stationary for a few hours to one day, and after that he becomes direct. And then on the 10th of August, Mercury is becoming visible in Cancer. And this visibility of Mercury is very important because it will be related to the markets. In a way, this will be helpful, and temporarily we are going to have rises on the markets. And also will be very good for people who want to share on media, who do media work, who do studies, who do any kind of Mercurian work. This will be helpful. However, Venus remains invisible in Cancer as well, and with this the finances are not so much supported, but there will be some movements on the markets in a positive direction. Then also, like I think 9th or 10th of August, Mars enters into Leo, and with this he feels a bit better, still invisible, but in Leo he will be helpful in terms of ambition, realizing, like really having the ability to in reality to use our ambition or our desire and drive to create or to do something in business or in just in our routine life. Because while Mars was in Cancer for approximately 1 month, he had very different nature, full of surprises. Now in Leo, this will be a bit different. He will be squaring Jupiter, and this is not very positive, of course, but when he's in Leo, he's in his own triplicity. In Mars, there is not really bad, but people who have Leo ascendants or Leo on midheaven will experience this desire to accomplish something, ambition to do some work, but still keep in mind that Mars is invisible and he can make us a bit too impulsive. So a lot is happening in August, as you can see. Yes, there is no change, of course. In Sagittarius, we still have Saturn, Pluto, and Ketu, and that is where all our delays and financial delays and obstacles of the markets come from, especially from this placement. Now, on the 19th of August, I have separate video on the Heliacal rise of Sirius, and I advise you to welcome Sirius if you can. shortly, actually not very shortly, but like before the sun rises on the eastern horizon, like 1-2 hours before that, you can already start watching if you're awake or if you want to see Sirius rising. Now, I will make separate analysis on most of these aspects, but this was just my overview. And now let's start with the 1st of August. And I will lead you through all days of a month of August, day by day, so that you know, for example, which day is appropriate for new beginning, which day is appropriate for surgery, which day is appropriate, for example, for beauty procedures. Now, keep in mind, August Venus is not going to be visible. So with this, the beauty procedures are not really very advisable, as they may not be as resultful as you wish. So on the 1st of August, the moon is still invisible in Cancer, together with Mars, Venus, all very deep, introvert, secretive, because they are invisible. And in Cancer, very much about spirituality. People who have Cancer rising, or who have or who have Cancer on mid-heaven or moon in Cancer, will certainly experience this in a very powerful way. Like they may have spiritual events interesting happening in their lives. It's about empathy, it's about meditation. This is not very powerful aspect in terms of business, money, and on this day it's not advisable to do surgeries. It's not very advisable to travel even. It is advisable to do spiritual work. It will give results. New beginnings, certainly not. And then on the 2nd of August, we have the first lunar crescent, which appears heliacally in Leo. The first lunar crescent appears in Leo. And this is emphasizing, of course, on Leo. And this is emphasizing, of course, on this powerful solar energy, on all qualities that the heavenly lion has, which is like power, which is like powerful image. It is about leadership, but also in Leo, especially in the first degrees, you have powerful, not only actually the whole Leo, you have powerful astrological and very esoteric stars. So this day will be very productive if we do esoteric studies. And of course, the day is fine for new beginnings, but keep in mind that if we expect powerful financial results without Venus, this will be difficult. New beginnings, yes, you may do, but keep in mind that you have to adjust the activity to this particular information that I'm giving you. So this is about surgical interventions? No. Then we have the 3rd of August, and the 3rd of August, the moon is conjoined powerful esoteric spiritual star, and yes, that they will be wonderful for astrology. Yes, you may do some new beginnings, but as I said, financial results you may not really very much expect. But since this coincides with the preparation of Mercury to become visible, you can do media activities, you can do, yes, new initiatives. You may travel on this day. You may not do surgical interventions. And then on the 4th of August, the moon enters very pure degrees of Virgo. And these degrees are associated with purity, with wisdom, with knowledge, and also they go together with the heliacal rise of Mercury. So yes, share knowledge, publish, teach, study. All this will be very, very nice. You may travel also on this particular day. Surgical interventions you may not do. It's not really very much advisable. On the 5th, also, the moon is approaching the degrees of a star which is associated with spirituality, wisdom, eloquence. Therefore, on the 5th of August, this will be wonderful that we again, similarly, share our knowledge, do trade. New beginnings you may do because the day is specifically very powerful. And it's also, yes, and you can also travel. We can also write, study, do spiritual work. All this is very appropriate on this day. Quite a nice day. And then on the 6th of August, the moon is approaching the degrees of powerful star in Libra, which is about design, which is about visibility. It's like whatever you do, performing, you may have this desire to create craft work, design, drawing, performing. All this will be very appropriate on this particular day. New beginnings you may do, but once again, without Venus, this will be a bit difficult. So keep in mind that if you expect good financial results, you may need to wait. You may travel and you may not do surgical interventions on this particular day. And then we have 7th of August. On the 7th, again, the moon is conjunct Zubana Shamali. It is again a star of spirituality, of craft, of talents, of design. You may travel on this day, surgical interventions you may not do, new beginnings you may, but as I told you, carefully, because like adjust the activity, media work you may, to negotiate, actually you also may on this particular day. And then we have 8th of August, and on 8th of August, also the moon is conjoining Jupiter, and he's about to become direct. So it's a very interesting day, 8th of August, 7th lunar day. This 7th lunar day is a bit critical in terms of new beginnings, so it's not advisable. On this day, the ancients wouldn't do much. They would do a lot of spiritual work, contemplation, meditation. But here, the moon is meeting Jupiter, and this, what I would tell you, is valid for 8th and 9th of August. So this day is very interesting for studies, for fixing relationship with friends, for new beginnings. You may, but as I said, keep in mind that for very good financial profit, you may need to wait. But the day is very nice for spiritual activities, for those who do healing, natural healers. They will benefit a lot. And these are degrees also for knowledge. You may travel, surgical interventions you may not do, and this is valid for both 8th and 9th of August. And then, yes, 9th of August. And then we have 10th of August when the moon is entering Sagittarius and the star Nunki, and this star is very much can be associated with ambition, but also with some dangers. Therefore, on this day, avoid negotiations. Maybe you can wait for another day. Avoid traveling. Avoid new beginnings. Spiritual work, wonderful. Meditation, studies, really, really great. Sharing your knowledge, great. And especially studies, contemplation, meditation, wonderful on this day. And then on 11th of August, the moon is making this exact conjunction with Saturn. And therefore, this day we need to be careful. I would avoid even traveling on this day. Just be careful. Or if you have to travel, double check, triple check every single detail. Surgical interventions, no. Negotiations, no. It's a day of knowledge. It's a day of sharing our knowledge, studying. Surgical interventions, as I said, better not. 12th of August, very similar picture, because the moon then will be in conjunction with Pluto. So it's about deep ancient studies and knowledge, and not so much for new beginnings. Surgical interventions, no. If you need to travel, do it really very cautiously, very carefully. And then we have the 13th of August, and the moon is conjoined a star, which is very much about clairvoyance, mediumship, powerful esoteric or spiritual events that you may really go through. So benefit this way from this particular day. New beginnings, I would say no. Surgical interventions, that definitely, oh, let me see. Actually, no, it's not really very appropriate because the moon is still waxing, but still, if you need to, you may. Also, the day you may travel on this day, negotiate, rather not, because you have the exact opposition between moon and Mercury. But for studies, for sharing your knowledge, wonderful day, because still Mercury is visible as a morning star, very, very young, very powerful, very visible. So the messages that you convey may be heard and will lead to success. 14th, we are having the full moon, which is happening in sidereal Capricorn. And this is, on this particular day, you know, people experience this differently. Some get very emotional, others benefit a lot, become very structured because it's Capricorn, become very good in receiving knowledge and in studying. So it is different. It's really different how people experience the full moon, but this full moon will be about knowledge, wisdom. It will be about structure, discipline. Yes, and also it may influence, interestingly, the markets. It's like, can be so that people would have this desire, you know, to invest, and this can have very interesting impact on the markets temporary. On this particular day, the ancients wouldn't do much. They wouldn't travel. They would do spiritual activities. Surgical interventions on this particular day are not really advisable. And then on the 15th, we are having the moon entering Aquarius, will enter very powerful spiritual degrees, which are the degrees of the spiritual guru. And there is exactly what we can do, spiritual work on this day. You can do surgical interventions, you may travel. On the 16th of August, the same. You may do surgical intervention, you may travel, new beginnings not. For the 15th, the same, new beginnings not. Wonderful will be to make spiritual work, like meditation. This will result in very good things. 17th, you may do surgical interventions, you may travel. The day is not, yes, you may do negotiation, you may travel. New beginnings not, surgical interventions, yes. And then we are having 18th of August. On this day, the surgical interventions are not advisable. Spiritual work, wonderful. Travel, you may, but plan everything carefully, very carefully. Don't involve yourself in risky situations. Surgical interventions not. Negotiations, again, carefully. Studying and sharing knowledge is wonderful on this day. And then we are having 19th of August. I would say don't travel on this day if you may avoid it. This is also the day of the heliacal rise of Sirius, so you may try to see the star very, very early in the morning before the sun rises. The day is very good for knowledge, sharing knowledge, do empathic activities, and enhancing your intuition. And as I said, travel very, very carefully. Surgical interventions, no. 20th, the moon is in the first degrees of Aries. You may travel, you may do surgical interventions, you may new beginnings, not media work. Negotiations, yes, but careful because Uranus is a bit influencing. But yes, you may share your knowledge, you may use this day in such way. And then we're having 21st of August, similar actually. You have this desire, you know, for new initiatives, but the day is not appropriate. The day will be appropriate for mental work, sharing knowledge, Negotiate, you may. New beginnings, not. Surgical interventions, you may. And then we're having 22nd of August, similar. You may travel, you may have surgical interventions, you may negotiate, you may share your knowledge, new beginnings, not. And then you are having 23rd of August, where the moon is passing through very esoteric place of Taurus. Therefore, you can use this day in such way for spiritual esoteric knowledge and meditation, for example. You may not do surgical interventions, travel also carefully. You may do media work, sharing your knowledge, publish. It's a day of negotiation, eloquence. This you may. You may have a good financial day. You can maintain well your financial status at work, in your business, but you may not do new initiatives. And I would say very similar things about 24th of August. Good financial day for routine work, for media work, but not good for new beginnings. Good for, you may do some beauty procedures, but actually not, rather not with the invisibility of Venus. No, you may travel. 25th of August, yes, on this day, I would say you may do some new beginnings, not media work, yes, sharing knowledge, receiving knowledge, travel, yes, surgical interventions, carefully, if they're not invasive, you may. 26th of August, no surgical interventions, carefully while traveling, don't involve yourself in risky situations, no new beginnings, also carefully while I don't advise negotiating, I don't advise, yes, but to study, to share your knowledge, this is okay. To do spiritual work, very nice. 27th of August, the moon is in powerful degrees in Cancer, where you may do spiritual activities, new beginnings, not. Surgical interventions, not. Travel, you may. Negotiate, rather not. Maintain just your work, your business, use your intuition, be very spiritual this day. Then you have 28th of August, similar things, but it's already the last lunar crescent. No new beginnings, no surgical interventions. Travel, you may. Negotiate, not. Spiritual work, teaching, studying, wonderful day for this. Empathic work, wonderful. And then on the 29th, 30th, and 30th, 29, wait a second, excuse me. So we have 30th August and 29th of August. We have the lunar invisibility. And this is when the lunar god is descending into the netherworld, where he is taking care of the souls of the dead. Therefore, he has very esoteric and spiritual nature. And during these particular days, 29th, 30th of August, it's not advisable to do a lot, to take risks, to travel. Surgical interventions, absolutely not. It's mainly timing for spiritual work, and this is how it was used in the ancient world. And this is up until the moment when on the, let me see, 31st of August, we will be seeing the first lunar crescent in Virgo. And this day will be wonderful for knowledge. New beginnings, rather not, because Mercury is already invisible and he's not going to support this so much. But for study, knowledge, travel, you may. This is 31st of August. Powerful day, actually, happening in the point of the autumn equinox. And then we're having the 1st of September, and I will be sharing my information with you before this for the month of September. So I hope this is useful for you. You're welcome. I welcome your comments And if you like to study astrology with me, you can visit my school. The link will be under this video. The same is valid if you like to have a consultation with me. Also, you can contact me. My details are under this video. Thank you very much.